My name is K.C. Yang. I was born in Taipei, in Taiwan, it's almost 77 years ago. Back in 1973, after I graduated from college and served 1 year of military services, which was a compulsory requirement before I can leave the country. So I came to Fresno State, attended graduate school, and that's when I first arrived in the United States. And 50 years later, I'm still here.
My name is Josephine Ho. I came to United States in 1964. My mom and my dad born in China, and 5 of us born in Hong Kong. Me, Paul, Margaret, Wanda, Mimi, we all born in Hong Kong. Petula born in Fresno. We left Hong Kong in October 31st in Hong Kong, 1964. We got to San Francisco in November 16. So we came here by the ship, picked up by my great uncle, because they were our sponsor for my parents to come. And then we drove us to Fresno. On that day, we're here.
My name is Jay Louie. I was born in Fresno, California on August 30, 1950. My dad is Kenneth Louie. My mom is Vicki May Louie, and my spouse is Stephanie Louie. My grandfather arrived here first back in 1908 when he was 15 years old.
My name is Virginia Ha Kamamoto. Our house was in West Fresno between Collins and Inyo, and there were 8 of us that lived there. My great-grandfather came to the Gold Mountain, America, because there was conflict going on in China. So he decided he'd have a better life in America. My great-grandfather and grandmother had 16 children, 8 girls and 8 boys, but only 11 lived beyond infancy. So with the 8 brothers and sisters, we had 15 children and spouses. We have 34 children, which created the next generation. So we have 105 Haws plus 2 more on the way.
Back in 1973, when I first came, I thought I was able to speak English and able to write and read, okay? On the contrary, it's a big cultural shock. Went to the Fresno State class. The first class, I have no idea what the professor was saying. The reason for that is that even in Taiwan, we have 8 years of English classes. Every year we have to take the English course, but they only emphasize on reading and writing. There's no conversational skills developed whatsoever. I can see you talking, but I don't know what you're talking.
When we first came, we speak mainly Chinese. English, people will tease us because they say things up to us we don't understand. They tease us when we say things with the accent. But when we came over in 1964 as children, the life is completely different than the children that's born here. My parents work in a factory in Hong Kong. After we came over, they work mostly in a restaurant. The name of the restaurant is Showboat. The first one was on Blackstone between Shaw and Garrisburg. And then later on, my brother and my dad opened another one on First and Herndon, also named Showboat. The life in a Chinese restaurant during our time is mostly family business. So mostly, my parents, they work in the kitchen, and then we sisters, and we work outside as a waitress, and we take care of things and, do the books and stuff like that. During the daytime, we go to school, and after school, we go to work in the restaurant.
My mom was born in San Francisco. My dad was born in Guangdong, China, 1952, I believe. We were moved out of our apartment on E and Kern Street because the state of California decided to build Highway 99, which is the construction is right in the heart of our apartment building. So we were forced to move. My parents bought a little farm in West Fresno on Tillman and Whitesbridge Road. It started out as a little 3-bedroom house with a shed and a little bit of farmland to raise crops. So we grew up basically as a farm life. As little kids, we were put to work as soon as we were able to walk. Louis Foods actually started in the E Street in Kern. My mother just started growing bean sprouts in coffee cans in the bathroom. And my father, don't recall visually see him, but I know he's always working, selling produce, driving a truck from right here to the Los Banos area selling produce. I recall the business was a 7-day-a-week job. And so as time went on, he became ill. He had heart problems. He went to one doctor one day, and the doctor said, well, you're not leaving the office, you're going straight to the hospital. So at that point on, he had a heart bypass, so I put him off work for several months. He needed some rest. I didn't have a job, so I took over for a while. I started to take over the business by helping out. From 1986 on, I more or less took over the business. Started hands-on training for myself, learning the business, how to make noodles, how to grow bean sprouts.
Back in 1979, I was working for the county, and we decided we're going to have a family. But we also decided one of us, me or my wife, has to stay home with the kids, because we realized that children are more important than anything else. We have to raise the right children. The only way we can do that is that if we have a side job. My job cannot provide for the family. We open a restaurant and then we hire people. The first one actually is a hamburger stand, Dairy Delight. I have no idea what hamburger, how to do it. But I learned after look around, we decided to open the fast food one, just like a Panda Express type. So actually, we opened the first one, Oriental Express, about the same time as Panda Express. After a few years, I decided that we want to expand. So we opened Japanese restaurants in the Manchester Mall. We opened a seafood in Fashion Fair Mall. We opened a Chinese restaurant in Sierra Vista Mall. Altogether, 10 restaurants at different kinds.
There were 3 of us that got together. It was Lisa Tom, Sylvia Chin, and myself. And we decided we wanted to keep our heritage going. So we started something called Xiao, and that happens to be one of the shirts that I'm wearing. We did this for 10 years. So we got together, we planned what we were going to do, and we had different stations. So we had a cooking station, so we taught the kids how to make bang bang noodles. We taught them how to make the rice flour noodles. We made char siu baos. We did a lot of different cooking experience. So they had a cooking experience from ages kindergarten through 6th grade. And then we did music. So we taught them some music. We taught them how to write their name in Chinese. So we had a Chinese portion of that. And then we had a history. So the 3 of us got together every summer at Lisa's house, and we would decide what we were going to do for that year. We did that for 10 years. We had people coming from Visalia who had adopted different Chinese children, but their parents were Caucasian. So they came to our xiao, but that was a lot of fun, just to bring the culture in to the different people in the community. I went to Lincoln School, so it was in kindergarten there all the way through 6th grade. I played violin. I remember I was in the school orchestra, and I would take the violin whenever, weekends, I would be able to take it home. I was in the school chorus, and everywhere we did, and everything that we did, we always walked. You know, nobody picked us up. At that time, it was safe to walk 4 blocks to Lincoln School or go to Frank H. Ball. After Lincoln, I went to Edison. Edison was a 7th through 12th grade school at that particular time. So we'd always walk to Lincoln, and we'd walk to Edison as well. And I'd walk with my girlfriend, Judy and Arlene. We'd all walk together and just enjoy the walk. While I was at Edison, when I was a senior, I had a job. So I worked at a place called Rudy's Elm Pharmacy. And then I also went to Fresno State. I spent 4 years, and I still continued to work at Rudy's, and I worked at Fresno State. My last year at Fresno State, I was able to be on the dean's list because I got straight A's. When you're student teaching and it's 12 units and you get an A. And I thought, oh, that's kind of nice to end the thing and be on the dean's list. So that was a plus for me. I thought that was nice to accept.
Growing up, there was what they call the Chinese school that was organized by the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. They built a brand new building on Waterman and Tulare. And so my parents, after school would drive us to the Chinese school almost every day after school, taking Chinese lessons, learning how to read and write. And that also gave us the opportunity to meet other Chinese students of our age from the other parts of the community. The Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association is not really a membership association. It's a community association. There's no sign-up sheet for you to become a member. The association creates opportunities like the Chinese community picnic. We announce where it's taking place. We provide free food. But basically, it's an opportunity for the Chinese community just to attend, interact with each other, just reacquaint yourself with the other Chinese in the community. Now, there are other factions in the Chinese community. There's Cantonese, Mandarins, the Chinese from Taiwan, Chinese from China, those who are here for many years, those are new immigrants. We all have a common bond that we're Chinese professionals, students, teachers from all walks of life.
From 73 to 78, 79, we have more than 700 students came from Taiwan, and which was the largest Taiwanese group at that time. So the Fresno Area Taiwanese Association still very, very active. Actually, it's one of the most active Chinese American organization in Central Valley. And so by 1990, we decided that there's a need for association to provide services for those people. Because a lot of people, when they came, they have no idea, and they don't speak English, and they don't know the laws, they don't know the systems, they have no idea. If they want to open a business, they don't know where to get started. So we decided to open a Chinese school ourselves. So we gathered together our friends, and we opened a Chinese school, and their children attended. At one time, we have about 40 students together. So the difficulty for the second generation is very obvious. So we decided we just want to stay here and raise the family, and which we did, and we never regret that. Because without the system here, my two daughters went to public school systems, but they excel. One went to Yale, one went to Stanford. That's a proof that the system here reward the persons that work hard, they learn hard, and they strive for the best. My two daughters is a great example for that.
I think moving to the United States gave me the opportunity for the education to have a better life. Staying in Hong Kong at that time will be much harder because the school system over there is much harder. It's very difficult to get into college there. But in here, I have the opportunity to go to college, to do what I want to do. All the time I have is school, studying, and work. So the first school I went in was Lincoln Elementary School. So I finished 6th grade there, and I went to Irwin Junior High. So 7th and 8th grade in Irwin Junior High, and then I went to Edison for my freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior in Fresno High. I went to Fresno State College. I have my bachelor there, and I also have my master's degree in Fresno State at that time. So happened I get to the internship for dietitian at Fresno Community Hospital. So I just kind of followed the track and then stay in Fresno since I came to Fresno.
As far as meeting other Chinese, the St. Genevieve's little nursery school and going to church at St. Genevieve's was our primary contact with the Chinese community. St. Genevieve's was considered a Chinese Catholic church. It was styled like a Chinese decorations. Sister Stephanie, which was the nun in charge, picked up a lot of the other Chinese students for the school from the various houses in the community. And that gave us the opportunity to meet each other on Sundays and sometimes Saturdays.
The Chinese culture is that, you're young, have to respect to your elder. Like I'm married to my husband, my in-laws are with us. So my children grow up with the grandparent, in the same household, which is very different than American family. We try to emphasize when they're young, like they have to, every morning when they see their elder, they have to greet them. Good morning, grandpa. Good morning, grandma. So they will speak Chinese to the grandparent when they were young. As they grow, hopefully they will carry on some of the Chinese culture, some of the very important morals and the characters that the Chinese carry. So you take care of your parent, and then when your parent, you take care of your grandparent. So hopefully we set up a good model that they will follow through. Now I see Fresno, we still celebrate Chinese New Year in Fresno City. So we still do the lucky money, and we will try to have our family dinner as a family dinner on New Year's Eve. And first day of the Chinese New Year, the lunch, we don't eat any meat. And then at dinner, then we will eat a big feast.
Growing up in Fresno, there was a lot of racial tensions. West Fresno was predominantly Hispanics and Black. Now, I was the one Chinese boy. I was bullied being the minority. Now, this is sort of surprising that no, we're all minorities, but other minorities treat you as minority. As growing up as a Chinese student these days, the migration of Chinese families moved toward the Clovis area, less so in the Fresno area. Chinese students in the Clovis school districts were more plentiful, tend to know each other a lot better.
Today, the opportunity is wide open. The people in Taiwan, you have the option to go any place you want. But my personal experience is still, United States still provide the best educational system, the best legal system, the best opportunity to be yourself.
I do hope that my children, the generation after, will, keep the culture, because now even Fresno is a mixing pot, it's a multicultural.
I want to wrap up a wish. I wrote a letter asking if I could take my class out to lunch because they've never had the opportunity to go out to lunch. I don't know, I wrote a letter and I won. And my boss came to me and he says, "You won." I said, "I won what?" He said, "You won the Make-A-Wish. You wrote a letter, didn't you?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Well, you won. You're taking your class out to lunch." So 2 restaurants called. He said, no, you're taking them to Tim McDonald's restaurant, World Sports Cafe. And the kids just enjoyed it.
People like me spend so much time in the United States, they want to go back to Taiwan. We have said, falling leaves, go back to your root. Okay, but not for me. Personally, I feel I live here very comfortably. I can communicate with anybody, and neighbors. I go to anything. I know this area just like my own. It's just there's no reason and no regret whatsoever. I'm glad I'm here.